And we also have our last wine here, the Di Martino Reserva Legato, which is 50% Cabernet and 50% Malbec, which is a very interesting blend for a wine from Chile. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the Legato wines are, and also why Malbec and what Malbec in Chile gives to you as a winemaker?
The Malbec, there's not too much Malbec like Argentina in Chile, but we have. And in the past, especially in the south part of Chile, many people had Malbec. And in Di Martino, we have some wines. It's a blend of field blend of Malbec and Cabernet, Carmenere, etc. It's planted in 1945. But these Malbecs moved into the central part of Chile, and we have today some plot of 100% Malbec. The Malbec in general, it's outstanding variety. I think the Argentinian guy is pretty smart, because it's a good variety. And if you put in a wrong place, sometimes normally if you put in a wrong place, produce a correct wine. If you put in an outstanding place, produce an outstanding wine. And if you put Cabernet Sauvignon in the wrong place, the wine is horrible. And this is a big difference in terms of varieties. And we decided to produce in our state a blend of Cabernet and Malbec, because Cabernet in our state produces Cabernet a little bit more peppery, and the Malbec produce more sweetness, even if you pick more early, because we pick very early. And I think it's a well balanced. You have more peppery, a little bit more sweetness. It's good for the consumer. And the alcohol, again, is not very high. It's about 13.4, 13.3, and that's okay.
You mentioned the consumer, and we have a question here. We've got two questions I'd like to cover before we end. But one question comes from Dizel, who is asking, is there local support? What do the Chileans like, the wines of place, or do the Chileans like what we can easily call the international palate, which shows riper fruit and more oak, and in general a little bit of a sweeter wine?
It's a very good question. Okay. My opinion is it's not easy.
No, you're going to get in trouble.
If you talk in general, same problem in all parts of the world. When you are in a country, a producer country like Chile, we drink Chilean wine. In the market, we have Chilean wine. We don't have Chilean wine from Portugal or from Italy or from another countries, okay, 100%. And if you ask this question 20 years ago, I say, yes, the people like an oak, low alcohol, freshness, good acidity, that's the wine. But today, I think, and the answer is, maybe the people like oaky, sweetness, alcoholic wine. But what is the problem? The problem is, if you're in a restaurant in Santiago, good restaurant, open the wine list, and if you ask of the sommelier and say, okay, I want a Cabernet Sauvignon, below than 14 alcohol, and good oak, but not too much, please. Nice acidity. Please put me 3 options. No option. No option. Because the option is, it's sweet, power, rich, this kind of wine. That's the problem. The consumer don't have option today to try more drinkability wine.
So they
the Martino, we're moving more in these styles, because we like this style. We believe in that, And I don't know we are correct or not correct, but that's it.
But this goes to the line on the sign behind you, Reinventando Chile. you're reinventing Chilean wine, and this is what it means, right?
Yes.
You're moving away and trying to give people options for wines that are more expressive of place and easier to drink and more fun to share. Are there any, Enobites Wine has asked a question, are you experimenting with any other varieties? Unusual varieties in Chile, maybe?
Yeah, and we have some experiment, but I think the last one is, in Chile, in the past, especially in the south part of Chile, uh, the people produce some varieties like Senso, País, Moscatel, and our idea is to rescue these varieties because it's amazing because we have vineyards of Moscatel more than 100 years old, non-irrigated. You can't believe it. And today, all these grapes, if we produce cheap wine in boxes, bag in box or something, and for that, in 2011, we decided to produce our first amphora wine from Itata Valley. And I'm showing you the amphora. I have a good support here.
Okay, the little one.
Yeah, and what is the idea? In the past in Chile, the people produce wine in Itata. Itata is La Cuna,
The birthplace.
the birthplace of the wine in Chile. And 500 years ago, and there are many old vines. And in the past, the people produced wine and fermented in lagar and in amphora, and keep the wine in amphora, and after put in big bottles. In Chile, the name is garrafas, and drink. That's it. And in the Martino, the idea is to rescue our culture because for us it's important. Today we have in the market many more modern wine, but I think our culture is important. And for that, we buy some old tinajas, the size in between 90 liters than 500 liters. It's 5 hectoliters. And we ferment it inside and keep the wine inside. And this wine, the name is Viejas Tinajas. It's our first vintage, it's 2011. And I don't know, it's all the people talking about today about the natural wine is, I don't know, it's natural or not natural. It's not important for me. And for the local market, we don't put nothing, no sulfur, no nothing. And to export, we need to add 20 ppm of sulfur because you need, for in between Santiago to New York, we need to cross a big piece of land, and the temperature in the containers sometimes is not really good. And for that, we need to conserve the wine. And for that, we put a little touch of sulfur.
Sure. It sounds like a fascinating project. I would love to come down and try it there without any sulfur in it. I'm sure it's a very interesting wine. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, though.
Okay.
So it was, again, I got to thank you. Is there something you need to say? Somebody's telling you need to say something? It was a fascinating discussion. There was a lot of material that we didn't get to that I would have loved to have gotten to, but it was wonderful spending this hour with you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you very much, Gregory, and salud.
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 I hope to see you in Chile. And like I said, when you come to New York, we'll get together, we'll drink wine, and we'll probably talk for hours.
See you in Chile. Nos vemos en Chile.
Okay.
Que te vaya bien.
Thank you.
Bye.